So, my next question was going to be about the earthquake, but you've already kind of like really kind of like elaborated on that a number of times. But my like kind of follow up to that is like, can you talk about the role of the Clintons in Haiti and just kind of like what their impact has been?
Yeah, yeah, of course. And so, I mean, the Clintons have a long history in Haiti.
Yeah,
Famously would say that they took their honeymoon in Haiti. That was not exactly the case. I think their honeymoon was actually in Acapulco, and then it was like a Citibank executive that took them
yeah,
down to Haiti for a little jaunt.
right.
In any case, right? They go back with Haiti. They have that history there, and that's sort of part of it. The other part is sort of more direct, which is that in 2009, obviously, Hillary Clinton becomes Secretary of State. That same year, Bill Clinton is named UN Special Envoy to Haiti. So you have both of the Clintons with sort of formal, institutional roles with significant action, and activity around Haiti, even before the earthquake, right? But then the earthquake happens, and that sort of elevates them into
Right.
the face of the reconstruction efforts.
Hmm.
Whether that's justified or not, right? They took on that role, they took on that persona, and certainly that was the narrative that was there. And they were extremely involved. I mean, Hillary Clinton, we talk about the 2010 election and the intervention there. I mean, Hillary Clinton personally flew to Port-au-Prince to pressure the government to accept the overturned election results.
Mm.
Bill Clinton was UN Special Envoy and then became the chair of what was called the Interim Haiti Reconstruction Commission, which was this external supranational body that was meant to sort of pool and coordinate aid resources after the earthquake to do sort of like big ticket items. I mean, really, it was no donor trusted the Haitian government to oversee the money, so
Yeah.
they were like, "We'll put Bill Clinton in charge of the money, in
We'll let
charge
Clinton
of that."
handle it. Yeah.
And so, this put them right in the bullseye, right? So when things were going wrong, and they very much did go wrong after the earthquake, it's, I think, pretty fair to turn towards them as the two sort of most high-profile people and external actors who were involved in this. Now, I think there's sort of a perception like, oh, the Clintons stole all the money, the Clintons did this. I mean, I'm not gonna parse all of this, but I like they didn't actually oversee. I mean, Bill Clinton, this commission, it didn't actually have money, like aid money. It was supposed to approve projects that would get funded through this other external. So like, It's not like they were sitting on a pool of $10 billion and shoving it in their pockets.
Yeah.
I think the bigger issue is more one of a perspective, again, towards development.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this is the real damning legacy of the Clintons, is that what they viewed and what they promoted as an actual development path for Haiti was a spectacular failure that enriched their friends and did little to enrich Haiti. And that is about their belief system in the world and how they approach things, which was, again, using corporate donors to try and promote private investment and do all like that didn't work, and it blew up in their face. And I think it's totally appropriate for them to take the brunt of the ire from Haitians who are frustrated by that, right? That makes perfect sense.
Right.
But it doesn't mean they personally pocketed $10 million, right? Just to give an example, though, of how this worked, because we look at Haiti and, okay, Haiti's so corrupt, we can't give money to the Haitian government. We need to create this external entity, right, run by Bill Clinton. So a few things. I mean, one, it was a bunch of Clinton Foundation donors, Hug and Loves, and these other law firms and people like that set up the bylaws of it, that were the thing that got money to do these things, right? Then you had PricewaterhouseCoopers got a contract to come up with like an accountability mechanism for the Reconstruction Commission. And then it came time to award the contract for the entity that would oversee this new accountability structure. And it goes to PricewaterhouseCoopers, right? Like, okay, maybe
we've investigated ourselves and we've found that we've done nothing wrong.
And so it's like the whole make of it. I mean, there's corruption there. And looking back to the Clintons, I mean, I think, talking to a lot of people in Haiti, I think there was an impression that like Haiti needed high-profile supporters, to people to go on the world stage and to lobby on its behalf and raise money and do these things. And you really couldn't have come up with somebody better than the Clintons at the time. I mean, these were the most high-profile people. They
throw Wyclef Jean in there and we're good.
Yeah, boom, all right. But also what actually happened, right? While they may have been the face of this, they weren't actually personally that involved, right? They deputized it. They handed it to junior staff, their lower level staff who knew nothing about development, knew nothing about Haiti, and were given hugely important roles over Haiti's future with no qualifications to do so. And they bucked up too, right? I don't know if I can swear on this.
Yeah, do whatever you want. Yeah.
But that was the problem. And so one of those was Cheryl Mills, who was, Hillary Clinton's chief of staff. The big post-quake, and this fits into sort of the neoliberal development model, everything, right, is the big post-quake reconstruction project was this industrial park, right? A sweatshop factory up in the north of Haiti, right? And this has been a goal of people in Haiti, external actors, for a long time, even before the earthquake. But all of a sudden, they had all this money. Said, okay, now we might be able to do this, because a company wasn't going to just come in and make that investment and set up this T-shirt sewing manufacturing facility. It took hundreds of millions of dollars in subsidies, including through USAID and the Inter-American Development Bank. Right, this is what foreign aid was subsidies to a Korean manufacturing giant to open up, basically minimum wage assembly lines in Haiti, right, in this factory. And they did it, okay? And it has not worked out as planned, okay, whatever, we put all that aside, because the part that is most interesting, I think, to this part of the conversation, Cheryl Mills was the one who handled those negotiations, right? She did that. By the time that industrial park was even opened, like actually functioning and legitimately functioning, she was no longer at the State Department, right? She wasn't chief of staff to Hillary Clinton. She had left. She went and founded a consulting firm.
This is the industrial complex. This is the Haiti industrial complex.
She founded a consulting firm that that sort of mandate was to provide services to folks who wanted to open industrial parks in Africa. Right. Exactly what she had done. And the seed money for that consulting came from the South Korean firm that she had just given $300 million in subsidies to bring them into Haiti. Right. So, okay, it works out pretty well for all of these people over here. Haiti's over here, and they're not seeing that action. Right. And so, we talk about corruption, aid contractors lobbying against common sense reforms, State Department officials founding private sector companies with money from the firm they just gave U.S. government money to, right? I mean, this is corruption too, right? I mean, it's not, Haiti doesn't own corruption. We have plenty of it. We've legalized it, we've institutionalized it, but that doesn't make it any more wrong. And for Haitians, they can see the difference.
Yeah. So just getting towards the end of everything here, obviously kind of we brought up in the beginning of this that at least here for this channel, really kind of like our inquest into Haiti and Haitian history began when Donald Trump made those extremely racist remarks at the presidential debate. Obviously, since then, Donald Trump has won the presidential election. So my question to you would just be like, how do you see a Donald Trump election or Donald Trump's second presidency affecting Haiti and relations with Haiti?
Yeah, it's a good question. I mean, I think, the sort of first and foremost is not so much about Haiti itself, but the Haitian community in the United States, right? And obviously talking about Springfield. And I think, there is real fear there. It's justified fear, right? And I think, that's certainly a big part of the equation. We look back at Trump's first term and his policy towards Haiti, and it was really motivated by one thing and one thing alone, and that was overthrowing the Venezuelan government, right? So Haiti was a piece of that puzzle to them. It was not of interest in and of itself. It was a vote at the OAS that had been voting with Venezuela for a long time, as well as many other Caribbean countries, and sort of breaking that Caribbean bloc, CARICOM, and specifically peeling Haiti off from it, was the main policy goals from a Trump administration. And the Haitian government acquiesced, did it. They didn't get anything from it. I mean, they were promised a lot of things, and shocker, Trump didn't live up to his side of that deal. But in any case, I think we can take a few things from that. I mean, one, it was very transactional and very this. It's not about Haiti at all, right? It's about these other issues. I would expect that to be the case again. In fact, maybe potentially with Venezuela again, with Waltz and these other people getting these positions. Certainly the sort of regime change in Latin America looks to be ascendant with these folks in power. I mean, how that plays out in Haiti or what Haiti's use could be there is one thing. On the other side of things, right? I mean, I think overall, what we've seen with Haiti is largely a bipartisan policy.
Yep.
Right. So we haven't seen these policies really change from one administration to another. We've seen 30, 40 years of a pretty one directional policy from the United States to Haiti, no matter who is in the White House. And that doesn't just extend to direct foreign policy. That's also treatment of Haitian migrants. Right.
Yep.
I mean, Biden has deported a record number of Haitians. We all remember what happened at Del Rio. You know, go back further. I mean, it was, you know, Barack Obama, who targeted Haitians at the border as in 2016, right before the election, out of fear there. And that sort of paved the way for Trump to implement those policies at a much broader scale. So we've seen the demonization of Haitians applied by both parties and at different points. And I think you could even say that, I mean, the response to that rhetoric during the campaign, I don't think was much better from leading Democrats, in the sense that, you know, they just sort of, oh, this is crazy, you know, like this is just fake news and crazy, and not like, these are real people being demonized, and that's going to be a real that's a problem. Like, that is bad.
Right.
All of us have done this because we demonize migrants in political season in the U.S. This is what we do for
American is apple pie.
Yeah, exactly. And there was no condemnation of that. There was no reckoning with that, right? It was just this, oh, it's just all up here and crazy, or this or that. And I think that's a problem, because, you know, this is not about one party. This is about policy that is perpetuated across administrations. And we've seen that in Haiti as well. I mean, I think, you know, Republicans, right? So right now in Haiti, right, there's a Kenya-led
UN force, right?
It's approved by the UN, but it is not actually a UN force. It's funded by the US. There's Kenyans there. A few other countries have a handful of troops. Now they're trying to shift that into another UN peacekeeping operation. Shocker, right? Okay, here we go. Republicans have been somewhat critical of that and funding, US funding for those efforts.
Yeah.
And so there's, you know, a certain perspective, like anti-intervention perspective, that maybe Republicans will actually be better because they won't fund this intervention in Haiti, right? And that would be in Haiti's interest. I don't really think that's something to count on, because I think a lot of it was really more political than you know, ideological in terms of that opposition. And we've already seen some things in that regard. You know, Rubio, as Secretary of State, has been a big supporter of both the UN peacekeeping operation and the Kenya-led intervention. And so, you know, most likely the status quo reigns in terms of policy towards Haiti.